I wanted to do a quick video to kind of show the underneath work that I've done on the frame of this car before I kind of put it back underneath the body, because once you do that, you can't see anything. So thought this would be helpful for any prospective buyers to kind of see the extent of the work that was done underneath. So starting off, front to back, I've changed all the rubber, including all the coolant hoses, air conditioning lines, fuel lines, anything that's rubber on this car has been changed out. New air conditioning condenser. The radiator is a used radiator from a low mileage car, because when I was looking for a radiator for this car, they don't have any new ones available. So I went with the next best thing. And let's see, new steering rack, reproduction from Houston. All the suspension components, I took them apart and stripped them, cleaned them, painted them to include the lower control arms, the springs, upper control arms, the rear links, you'll see once I get back there. New shocks in the front and the rear. New bearings in the front. Let's see, the stainless steel flexible brake lines from Houston are here. Let's see, the fans are original, but I did strip, clean, and paint those. See, all the brake lines have been flushed and cleaned. All the coolant pipes have been flushed and cleaned. The fuel tank was taken out and cleaned all around. The closing plate had some peeling coating that I addressed that, peeled all the old coating off, and painted it with POR 15, and then painted it to match the frame after that. All new hardware holding that on. Underneath here, let's see, these are the heater core lines, have been cleaned and flushed, and all new clips holding those on. Again, all the clips for all the fuel lines and vent lines and vacuum lines have been replaced. The ones that were broken anyways. Let's see, trailing arm bushing, have new old stock trailing arm bushing installed. Grade 12 trailing arm bolts. And let's see, everything again has been gone through, has been cleaned, made to look as new as possible. Let's see, the drive axles have been rebuilt, new boots cleaned, and all new grease on the inside, new bolts holding them on both sides. See that? Transmission, I have a new stainless steel clutch line from the front to the back, new reverse switch, new slave master cylinder, this is like a little boot, but the old one was torn, replaced that. On the inside, the flywheel has been surfaced, new clutch, new throw-out bearing. On the transmission, new seals, new output shaft seals. The input shaft seals underneath here have been changed out. The back housing was leaking. I pulled that off and resealed it. Let's see. The rear main seal of the engine was redone. The front crankshaft seal as well was redone. The exhaust was pulled off, resealed, all new gaskets, all new bolts, stainless steel hardware, and then brass nuts, or copper nuts, excuse me. Let's see, a new O2 sensor on this side. Can't really see it down there. Right there. And here's the line coming out for it. Again, let's see, a new distributor cap and rotor in there, all new vacuum lines going to everything, all new fuel lines. The tack lead is brand new. What else on the back side here? That's all I can think of right now. Most of this stuff you'll be able to see when it's together, but stainless steel coolant bottle, new later style alternator with the correct size pulley. Let's see, new water pump, new belts. The actual crankshaft pulley was bent when I got it, so I got a replacement for that. Stainless steel heat shield. Let's see. Oh, the oil pressure sender is here, under here. That's new. And then the warning light switch on this side is new. Again, the water pump's brand new from Houston. I got a new thermostat on the inside, and then the cap on top of the water pump is also brand new. New air conditioning pump. Again, so the whole air conditioning system, except for the evaporator core, is going to be new. So that's how I kind of like to do air conditioning, especially when you have the car apart right now. Is just your best bet is just to replace the whole thing wholesale. Make sure all your connections are good. Everything is brand new, and you know you're pretty much guaranteed the air conditioning is going to be solid for quite a while. Also, this was an early car, so it still had the early flow, or for the coolant, the flow, how the pipes went around the engine was the early style, and so I updated that to the later more recommended style. I do still have the old pipes for whoever might want them if they buy the car. And then here's the newer style outer pipe with the new outer and clip underneath here. And then also you have to replace this pipe on the passenger side is a different pipe as well, so it's brand new pipe. And then of course all the hoses back here. Got some junk on top of it. This is the wiring for the firewall, but oh, this is a temporary plug for the adjustment for the dwell. Well, I will plug that with a proper plug before I put it up for sale. Let's see, none of the fuel components required a rebuild. That the distributor was good once we flushed it out, and the warm-up regulator is good to go, and cold start valve was good, frequency valve was good. And the idle motor also is good to go. So yeah, once I had it running, the only thing I had an issue with was exhaust leaks. So hopefully those will be taken care of. Should know that shortly. So while I had the engine apart, I actually had the front timing cover and the valve covers both for vapor honed, so they are polished aluminum now, back to the original kind of color they would have been when it was brand new. So it's not paint, that's just been polished. And I didn't do any of the air induction system just because I was worried about that stuff getting getting the media and all that kind of stuff in there. So I didn't do that on this car, so that's why it's a little bit more dingy. Let's see, again, here's the links are painted, springs painted, new shocks. New hand-cooked tire set, matching front and back. Wheels have been powder coated. The fuel pump is the GM kind of update fuel pump, and that was tested prior. That's what I ran the car with before I took it apart. Again, this was an early car, so it had the early air conditioning system. which didn't have the high pressure switch or the blow off valve. And so that's been added, and this is where it gets positioned for the later systems. So that's that. I guess I can point out minor things too. So this foam was completely deteriorated away, so I replaced the foam. The shifter's out right now, but we'll get that cleaned up and put in. Brake calipers have all been rebuilt. New pads and flushed, cleaned. So it'll have fresh brake fluid in there. Oh, the rotors themselves, the brake rotors are all new, front and back. All the bushings in the rear bushing here in the control arm, and the bushings for the sway bar, and then the bushings in the rear links are new. The only bushings I didn't replace were the upper control arms, because these kind of aren't really replaceable. You kind of destroy the upper control arm when you do that, but those look like they were in good condition, so I did not change those out. Any of the nuts I took off on the suspension, I replaced with brand new nuts, except for the sway bar, but those are kind of special, and those aren't locking anyway. That's a kind of a jam nut setup, two nuts together. The bushings in the steering rack are new. Let's see, the bushings underneath the sway bar are new. The front part of the sway bar, I should say. And oh, motor mounts are new. I guess that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully anybody watching this is thinking about buying the car. So if you got any questions, or you kind of breezed over something, you got a question, let me know.